Dr. Shastri, this was, amongst the things that you said, 1 + 1 + 1, when you came on India Today. It's almost as if they have copied and pasted and applied your formula. So he gets to be Deputy CM, is the only Deputy CM. He gets plum portfolios and he gets to be KPCC Chief. So they basically, that just shows the power of Sandeep Shastri, that the ultimate formula is the one that you suggested.
Thank you, Rahul, for saying that. I think as part of the discussion and as an independent political commentator who looks at how things developed, when DK raised his stakes and said 5 years or nothing, it was very clear that that was a bargaining chip he was using to finally get what he was aiming at. And that's the context I said 1 + 1 + 1. Only Deputy Chief Minister, key portfolios and KPCC presidentship till the next Lok Sabha election. And that's what has been announced today. And that is a formula which sees both having accepted. Again, if you look at the photographs that are emerging, I think DK Shivakumar seems to be much more cheerful in terms of having wrested what he wanted. May not be the ultimate thing, though Mr. Siddaramaiah seems very serious, maybe that's his nature. But if you look at the optics of the two leaders, especially the scenes that you are showing alongside, it's very clear that Shivakumar was aware that he may not get the chief ministership and accepted or bargained for what ultimately happened. But now it will be interesting to see how this government works, because they have an election the next year. And I'm sure both have been told that we cannot have a repeat of 2019 in Karnataka, that they are depending on Karnataka for a lot of seats. And I think...
No, but what's your sense at this moment, as a top psephologist, what's your best sense of what Karnataka could look like in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024? You've seen the split verdict in the C voter data when they ask who do you want as PM. The BJP's vote share goes up, the Congress's vote share goes down. So if things were to pan out in the way that you see it, what could the potential seat share from Karnataka look like for both top parties?
Rahul, even in the studies that Lokniti has done, there is a similar trend, that when you look at the Lok Sabha election, the BJP's vote share goes up. What the Congress would be hoping is 1 year of governance in Karnataka would demonstrate the fulfillment of promises and would, in a Lok Sabha election, help the Congress. Now, that's going to be a huge expectation, because in the Lok Sabha election, Prime Minister Modi is going to be in the forefront of the campaign. And let's remember, last time around in 2019, the acceptance rate of Siddaramaiah's government in 2019 was 90%. And still, the Congress was not able to get a majority of seats.
Now, Nalin Kohli, does this concern you that the Prime Minister staked so much of his personal prestige when he campaigned in Karnataka, that at some level, this aura of invincibility that the Prime Minister carried, that he could come in and do a Rinku Singh, come in and hit lots of balls out of the park, help the BJP win from a hopeless situation, that aura of invincibility is shattered. While the BJP may still believe it, the opposition now starts to think that, hey, Modi is not a demigod. We can, if we get our act together, take on the BJP. This is not impossible. So this rampaging Ashwamedh Yagna, this idea that the BJP would just win and the Congress would just capitulate, now the congressmen don't seem to buy it. And those who support the Congress ideology too think, okay, maybe we can beat the BJP.
Lots of metaphors in that, Rahul. Ashwamedh Yagna and all that. So I'll compliment you for the way you phrased it. But coming back to the core or the substance of what your query was, I don't agree with that, and for several reasons. How has Prime Minister Modi's popularity gone down? The visuals are there for you to see. I'm sure your channel covered it as much as others. Number two, Prime Minister, this was not an election on him. This same question will be relevant for someone, and I believe not the BJP, in 2024, in May. Then third is what I said at the beginning of the program, that Prime Minister Modi, if you have to judge his popularity, how come the vote share hasn't fallen? So it raises a question that the vote share, if normal conventional psephology would say, if a government is not performing well, people are angry with the government, then how is the vote share remaining identical? So therefore, I have a counter narrative to this that shows that the BJP has held ground not as expected or as being projected by others. Number two, the vote dynamics has changed in Karnataka between the JDU, JDS, other players and the Congress, which has gained from that dynamic. So it's taken them to a very, very clear and good mandate for them. Now they have to perform. With every mandate, winning the mandate is easy. Retaining the mandate is difficult, and I think Prime Minister Modi has shown he got a historic mandate in 14 and he got an equally historic in 19. Not just retained, but bettered it. So I think we will fight on our report card, and I do believe that if the Congress and other parties wish to begin their early celebrations for 2024, honestly, I would welcome that.
Okay.
So that they can keep congratulating themselves while the BJP, its Karyakarta and leaders are doing the work as they always do.
Now Ramakrishna Upadhyay, your best sense of whether this Shivaramaiah duo, Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah, can work together in the next 5 years? Or do you think it's only a matter of time before this becomes Sachin Gehlot Redux?
Rahul, thank you for coming to me at last. I've been waiting patiently. I was carefully watching what Nasir Hussain was saying. I mean, he was totally evasive about this formula of power sharing. And I believe that, it is not written in stone and probably is not going to work, because Siddaramaiah was very, very particular that he is not going to share power and he wants 5 years term. And in fact, he made it very clear that during the campaign, people wanted him to be the chief minister. And his point is, he is the man who has been elected by the people, and he is not going to share power with Siddaramaiah, with Shivakumar. So that is point number one. Number two, there is a trust deficit between the two, which you noticed in 2013 also. When Siddaramaiah took over as chief minister the first time, he didn't include DK Shivakumar in the cabinet.
What was his reason for keeping Shivakumar away at that time?
Well, there were allegations of corruption against him, and Siddaramaiah wanted to give a clean government. That is what the promise he came with. And then finally, it was because of the intervention of the High Command that Siddaramaiah and Roshan Beg came into the cabinet. So there is already a trust deficit between the two. And after what has happened in the last 3-4 days, I'm sure that wounds would have really opened up some more. So now we'll have to see what the cabinet portfolios that DK Shivakumar will get. Because Siddaramaiah has to give it to a lot of other people as well. A lot of seniors have been elected to this assembly, and he has to ensure that MP Patil gets something important, and he has to ensure that Tanveer Seth gets something important. And there are so many people who are waiting to get good, important portfolios. He can't give everything to Shivakumar. So Shivakumar, if he wants to have Bangalore development, I don't think that will happen, because every chief minister has kept Bangalore because they want to have control over the capital. So, and what is left for him? Maybe water resources. Okay, he might get the water resources, but then he may want, important portfolios for his, supporters as well. So it's going to be a friction from day one, unless DK Shivakumar is able to work out some way as to how these things work out. And then finally, I also have to point out that there are people who have been elected and they will not be able to get, like R.V. Deshpande. He's a 9-time MLA, or Ramalinga Reddy, 8-time MLA. And these are people who are likely to be kept out and told that you please, contest the Lok Sabha election. Because they do need candidates for Lok Sabha elections as well, which is just about 10-11 months away. And some of them will be kept out on that pretext. So,
no, why will they be kept out? Why will the seniors not get a ministerial portfolio, you think?
Because there are so many claimants. And it's not going to be easy for Siddaramaiah to please everyone. And he has to look at the regional representation, he has to look at the caste representation, and when you look at all these things, some of them will have to be left out, and they will be fielded in Lok Sabha.
To the Congress's credit, they've been able to sort out problem number one, which is to get these two to agree to a formula. The second part is now to govern. Ultimately, it's the people's mandate. These 135 seats are for good governance. Can they deliver on that crucial count? The jury's out on that.